This session, we're going to create an invoice for a medical report, and then we're going to upload it to DVA using their provider upload portal. PUP is the acronym for that. So the first thing we're going to do is the patient's name or the client's name is Richard Burkhoff. That's this guy here. That's the medical report, and I've marked it medical report. As I will with the when I do the invoice, I'll mark that the invoice, and there's a reason for that. You'll see there's a reason for everything. You'll see that when it comes to the uploading. So what we first do, and I've done this already and printed out the sheet that I'm going to refer to. We open it up, and usually, and when I say usually, 9 times out of 10, down the bottom of the report, the very last page, I'll just scroll down here, will be this sheet here. It's always at the bottom. Sometimes, very rarely, it'll be in the middle somewhere. Sometimes there won't be one. I don't know why. It just happens, in which case you need to email RN at Veteran Medical and tell them, look, there's no online invoice service page, because without it, you don't have a TRN, you've got detail you need. So what I do is I print this out, and I print it out for the very reason I keep a paper copy of everything until it's reconciled with DVA. And on here, when we get to it, we're going to write the cost of I know the cost, and I've written it down, of this particular invoice. Plus, very important, there's a workaround, but it just saves time. When you get doing the invoice, putting in the invoice number, writing down the invoice number. Okay, so that's why we do that. We go straight to the bottom of the report and print that out. So let's get into it. We open best practice, and again, we go to management, create patient report, and this patient's name is Burkhoff, Berkhoff, Hof, and his name is Richard. Okay, that's him. And the doctor is Dr. Silberberg. Patient is not paying. It's not DVA. It is DVA, but it's not DVA direct bill. It's DVA other for private invoice. Search, again, as with ILCs, DE for department, and there it is there. Now here, all we do is put in the TRN. No ILCs or anything, so it's TRN. They normally start with the letter M and in the middle there's the letter P. But this one, for some reason, and there are other variations with other letters. This one has I, 00, whoops, stand by. Turn on the numbers, I0039, L 5309. Okay, always eyeball that 0039 5309, and you've got the I at the front and the L in the middle. Okay, so that's the TRN number. Now here, add item, as before with the ILC, we go past the ILCs to medical report, and as before here, we type in his name, Richard, Berkhoff, and his file number is NV 010010910. That's all on the page that I'm assuming you've printed out. Here we place the amount. In this case, it's $200. That's the net amount. The GST will be added inside the system, inside the invoice. There it is there. You can see it's ticked. So what I do again, as I did with the ILCs, I copy this. Okay, that's copied. I add it, and then I'm printing to PDF, and I've set my gear to PDF, and you know how to do that. So I'll just skip that. And then make sure, sometimes I always save to desktop, but sometimes for some reason, it'll be saving to best practice files or something. So always check that, because you'll think, whatever happened to that invoice that I created? And it's because, so in which case I'll show you how to fix that. It's something else I've just thought of. I've got to show you how to fix. So here we just paste his name, and the medical report's already done. So here we just go invoice. Fat fingers, stand by. Okay, invoice. Okay, and I just, for the hell of it, put a little hyphen in there, and then we save that, and that'll be on the desktop. Okay, so now if we have a look, we'll have the invoice. Here it is, down here, and there it is. That's next to the report. So let's go ahead and upload that. Okay, we click on that icon, that app. That's the DVA portal. Beg your pardon, I've hit the wrong one. It's this one here, sorry. Okay, the rehab, I call it rehab, and okay, this is it here. Okay, we type in the TRN, which is, what do we say? It's I0039L5309. Okay, now sometimes, okay, it worked. You'll get that same problem we had with ILCs. It'll be invalid, or you'll click on here, and now you should have provision for a medical report and provision for invoice. Now, sometimes you'll just get provision for a medical report, and this will not be there. That's because the TRN's been used before. Each TRN will allow multiple reports, but only one invoice. So what I do in those cases, I upload the report anyway, and then I email the medical report and the invoice together. So they'll get the report twice, and they'll get the invoice as well. So now we go for medical report, add document. We're on the desktop, so we scroll down here, and it's all in alphabetical order. There he is, Richard Burkhoff, medical report, and we upload it. And that little thing, there it is, your document is successfully uploaded. Now, I just committed a sin. I just realized what I've done here. I'll have to go back, and this was the workaround I was saying. I didn't take my own advice, which is probably a good thing. It shows you how. Just go back to the desktop, go to your invoice, and grab a pen and write down the 251606. There it is, 251606. That's the invoice number, just up here. I should have done that before. Okay, close that out. Go back to this here. We now go to medical invoice. We put in this number, 251606. And the amount is $200, but this is where we add the GST. Well, it's added in the invoice already, but in this screen, they want to see the total amount plus the GST, in which case it's $220, 220, 10% GST, okay? And then we add the, scroll down again, and there it is, okay? The invoice, you can see it here, it's written there. And so that's good to go as well. And that's your invoice and the report uploaded, and it says here, this document successfully uploaded. So that's how you do it. Now, if you had a second one to do, or a third or a fourth, simply go to enter a new TRN, put in the TRN, and you do the procedure over again. I did mention emailing, and I'll show you where you do that. Now, we can get out of here. You go to the report. If you do have to email it because the TRN is not working, you can phone, but good luck with that, because it just rings out or they don't answer. Sometimes you do get lucky. If you go to the opening page that comes in the letter from DVA, you'll see here the name of the person, and their position number. And always put that in the subject box. You go, Abhishek, position number, blah, 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 concerning Mr. Burkhoff, and then his TRN, all in the subject box. While you're in there, you go further up the page, and I might have just passed over it, I think. Yes, here it is here. This is where you email. That's the email address, coles.claims@dva.gov.au. Okay, so that's where you email it to this person with that position number, Mr. blah, blah, blah. Say, sorry, the TRN was dodgy, TRN came up as invalid. please find attached the medical report and the invoice for Mr. Burkhoff, Mr. Richard Burkhoff, and you send it to this address. Now, the thing is, always check your emails, this covering letter, because the email addresses change. There's coles.claims@dva, there's brisbanepi@dva.gov.au, there's perthpi.gov.au, there's another one called, it reads like Dr. Cappy, DRCAPI. And they're the four that I can think of off the top of the head. But always check the letter to see which email address you're dealing with. So that's how you do that. And here endeth the lesson, or the tutorial.